Our story begins with Nick, and he is sitting in a bar in the middle of the night, and a beautiful girl enters and sits next to him, and at that time he tries to confront her, but she does not care. After a while, a man enters the place and is the lover of this girl. At this time, Nick goes to the girl in front of her lover and confronts her again, but this time he pulls her to dance with him, but her lover tries to stop him, but he cannot, and Nick pulls out his hair, takes off the wig, and mocks the man very much in front of his lover. After that, the man decides to avoid the problems, takes his pocket and leaves. Outside, he tells her that he could have hit him, but he didn't want to for her sake. At this point, Nick comes out to them again, but the man asks her to get in the car. He decides to quarrel with him and beats Nick severely, and it appears that the man is strong, and at that time his girlfriend is fascinated by him. We go to this doctor, who leaves the hospital and goes out in front of the hospital to smoke, and suddenly he glimpses a girl thrown on the ground in front of the hospital. He runs to save her quickly and take care of her. But the girl was repeating Nick's name while she was unconscious. Seems he did it to her. On the second day, Nick wakes up from his sleep and goes to work as a bodyguard, and a young man named Doc meets him and tells him that he is gambling and wants him to work with him and guard him, so that no one will attack him after playing in the casino. He asks Nick to tell him his qualifications. Nick tells him that he has the world championship in boxing 3 times and he was an officer in the army and he has a lot of money, but his problem is that he is a liar. And the young man laughs and accepts the joke from him and tells him that they will start working from today. In the afternoon, the man who beat him in the casino in front of his girlfriend comes to Nick. It seems to us that this man hired Nick to make this trick in front of his girlfriend, and she admired him more, and that he came to give him his money. Then he goes to break his fast in a restaurant he knows its owner and her name is Mary. After he finishes, he returns to his apartment and is met by a girl named Holly, who was taken to the hospital at the beginning of the movie. And we know that he was not the one who did that to her. When he sees what happened to her, he is shocked, and she tells him that she was staying up late in a hotel, and a person with guards took her to his room by force and raped her. And she does not know anything about him, even in order to raise a case against him and ask him to help her. So he leaves her and goes to the hotel that she told him about, enters the servant's room, and gets acquainted with a woman there, and asks her about a man with the specifications that Holly told him about. So she said, "I will tell you, but wait for me in the restaurant after the afternoon." After she met him, she told him that the man he was asking about was Danny of Italian origin, and he was a rich young man, heir to his father, and there were 2 guards to go with him anywhere. She advises him not to approach him because he will harm him. And he decides to listen to her advice and talk to Holly and tell her that he could not reach anything with the man, so she tells him that he is a liar and that she wants to tell him that this man, after he raped her, put the gun inside her. And tell her, "Tell me that you love me," and if he feels that she is lying, he will kill her. And after he finished with her, he goes to meet Doc, and they go to the casinos of the whole city, and guard him while he plays gambling, and he meets his girlfriend named Alexandra. She works in a casino and in the middle of the night leaves Doc and tells him that he wants to go home. And he goes to Holly and tells her that the man's name is Danny and all the information he knew about him, and tells her that she is lying because she said that she wanted to tell the police about him, but in fact she wants him to take revenge on him. So she says yes to him, indeed, and that she served him before and wants him to serve and bring her right from the one who raped her. So Nick goes to the hotel where this man lives, and when he asks to meet him, the guard refuses. But Nick tells him that he is coming to him because of baby. But the guard also closes the door. But when he tells the other guard about what happened, he scolds him and opens the door for Nick. Of course, he searches him before meeting his boss, Danny. And when Nick meets Danny and asks him about what he did with Holly, he mocks him and tells him to take $50,000 and forget about this issue, but he withdraws them again and mocks Nick. He shows him the gun and threatens to kill him if he doesn't tell him what a great person he is. Indeed, Nick does this, and Danny asks his men to get Nick out of the room, but Nick uses his Visa card, kills the 2 guards, and hits and ties Danny. And he calls Holly to come and take her right. And when Holly comes, she has scissors and wants to cut off Danny's penis if he doesn't tell her that he loves her, and if she feels that he is lying, she will cut it off. And after she humiliates him, she decides to forgive him and take the money that is in the drawer, she and Nick, and they leave, and at the end they divide the money between them. And each of them decides to flee and leave the city because that young man may chase them and cause them problems. But Nick decides to go and gamble with the money he has and hopes to win the $500,000 he dreams of before leaving the city, and then he can travel as he wants. After playing gambling, he loses part of his money, and decides not to complete it. He sits with Doc, and his idea crosses his mind, and he understands the casino system. And he decides to play again, and indeed he starts playing and earns several rolls until he earns $500,000. And he fulfilled all his dreams and goes with Doc to withdraw all the money to leave, but at the last moment he decides to come back and play again, betting on $500,000 all at once until he wins $1 million. But of course he loses everything. Then he blames himself and regrets a lot. And Doc sits with him and calms him down and tells him that he is not a gambler and does not want protection from him. And that he is indeed a programmer and a millionaire, but unfortunately he is a coward and wants him to learn everything and give him what he wants from the money. But Nick gets upset and decides to go out and sit in the casino again. Suddenly, Danny's men go to him to take him, and he beats them. And their number is very large until they arrest him, but this time he goes to Baby, who is a millionaire man whom Nick knows. And Danny complained to him about what happened and that he stole his money. Nick asks him, "Do you believe him?" He said to him, if he had believed him, he would not have been standing in front of him now. And he tells him that he will confront them together, and if he is a liar, he will kill him. And he takes him to the hotel store, and Danny is there, and tells Danny that Nick attacked him for no reason, killed his friends with a gun, and stole his money. Then Nick decides to defend himself and says that he never uses a gun, so Baby says that this is the truth and that he can kill anyone with the simplest things. Then he tells Baby that what proves that he is innocent is that there is a wound in Danny's penis, so how did I know that? Then Baby knew that Danny did something to Nick. And that Nick didn't do it for no reason. Danny gets upset and angry. After he leaves, he warns Nick of Danny and advises him to flee, because he will surely chase him until he kills him. Then Nick goes to his friend Mary's restaurant, and there he finds Doc sitting next to him and thanks him for learning a lot from him. Therefore, he decided to help him achieve his dream, as he promised, and leave him a plane ticket to his island, and an imminent payment of $500,000, as he had dreamed. Nick thanks him and tells him that the first problem has been solved. He asks him, what is the second problem? Nick replies and tells him that he may be killed at any moment. And then he sees Danny and his men in the restaurant to kill him. At this moment, Doc moves from his place, shouts, sings, dances, and Nick takes advantage of what is happening and disappears. Danny asks his men to search for Nick everywhere until they find him, and Nick hears him because he is hiding on the roof of the restaurant, so he decides to attack them and hit them all with the knives he has until he kills them all, and Danny also killed in the end. Thus, he has taken his revenge. Then he meets Doc and thanks him for what he did and bids him farewell because he decided to travel as he had dreamed. And the movie ends on that. If you like today's movie, don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications for more summaries. See you next video. Goodbye.